relationships there and eventually converting to Christianity. So that sort of was a little bit more independent than my grandfather pushing me, but obviously still had the friends and different things like that. So I would go on into high school the next year and have my up and downs with spirituality, just like, any teenager that, that at least pursued it. And all the way up until my music career started to spread a little bit. And it took a very like dark and violent turn that really led me to really starting a soul search. After I was able to get out of a altercation that probably would eventually led to somebody dying, myself or the other person, I started to really search and really started to dig deep. And I remembered as I was that kid, reading the Bible all the time, I wanted to know, like, I had more questions. I wanted to know which religion was first. Now, one thing that I failed to mention, I grew up very close to the Jewish community in terms of proximity also. So I was very familiar with, I used to walk through a shul every day when I was on my way to elementary school, or just being in the neighborhood. And on Shabbos, Saturday, I would see everybody walking up to shul. So it wasn't foreign to me, but in terms of being able to actually delve in, took years later when I was starting to search on my own. So that's what I started to do. I wanted to find answers to my questions. And so, before you knew it, I was at home maybe 8 hours a day with all three different texts: the Christian text, the Islamic hadiths and the Quran, and I had a JPS Tanakh and the Chumash. And I was spending 8 hours a day going through these different texts. And I think, one of the most beautiful things that everybody always is like, what was Judaism? What was the thing about it? And I think the biggest thing for me was like, forgive my speech for saying this. It was just like, this is a book of screw ups. Everybody's messing up over here. David Melech's messing up. Claudius Wells keeps messing up. And I was like, Hashem, I'm a mess up. Will you take me also? One of those beautiful things is when you read in the Nevi'im, you read in the prophets, was that no matter what you do, and no matter how much tokacha, rebuke that Hashem will give to Claudius, well, he's always wrapping it with words of love, manucha, restoration, and all that. And I thought for myself, was like, this is my story, and I felt very, very connected to it. That was like the biggest thing. I don't know. Somebody was jumping in now.
No, okay. It's all yours. I don't know how that happened, but you keep going because we love your story.
Thank you. So as I started to grow towards this direction, the first thing that there we go. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the main thing, the next part, as I started to, go in this direction of growth and starting to dig deeper into Judaism, first thing that hit at least my wave was the Messianic Judaism, which was like Jews for JC, which is like easier transition. Okay, this is still right, but this is, and I was in a congregation like that for like 2 years. Now, at the beginning, my wife was like, dude, you're crazy. What are you talking about? No Christmas, no Easter, no, and we sort of started to learn together, and that me and her growing and learning together led to her sister, who was like, they're very, very close, her and her sister. Her sister at the time was dating my best friend since kindergarten. So it was after, a while, it was all four of us on this journey together, where eventually led to us, moving back to my childhood neighborhood. And we all converted together, two families, the blacks and the browns. So
wow.
And we all eventually made Aliyah and moved to Israel maybe 4.5 years ago now. Sure.
That's amazing. So you really see God guided you. You didn't work by yourself. And what made you pick Judaism? Like, what did you see in it? What do you see in it? What makes you love your Judaism?
I think, that part of it, the beginning part, was the fact of being able to know that God loved me no matter what, and to see the love. Like I said, it's like this. I always say, if you take two good friends, right, and they spend a lot of time with each other, you'll start to see they start to rub off on one another, right? And as they continue to grow, they share the same interests. I was spending so much time, like when I was saying I was searching, really, like it wasn't like just, okay, I'm spending all this time on these different texts. I was fasting. I was going 3 days with no food, going out crying, praying to God, crying my eyes out. And this was happening weeks at a time. I was doing this. And the spiritual sensitivity that I had, it was like, I could feel, hear, and sense Hashem everywhere. So it really, really was a very, very deep connection. So I would like to say that Hashem became my best friend. And I saw the love that he had for Klal Yisrael, for the Jewish people. So I started to love them also. I'm spending so much time for Hashem. And I took the Tanakh after all it was done, and I took Tanakh, I sat on the table. And I said like this is my deal I made with Hashem. I said, look, I'm going to read this book from cover to cover, and I only want to know your character. I want to know what you love, what you hate, what you reward, what you. I want to know you were starting over from scratch. This is how I read it. And from that, I felt like it made me feel like I developed a strong love. So it gave me on a very minute, micro, not even type of level to understand how much Hashem loved Klal Yisrael and how chashuv it is. And what I'm going to say next, people you have to listen to it. You may have to rewind the tape to hear what I'm saying, because to some extent it's going to sound kind of crazy. But in a way, like the way that it's presented, especially through the Nevi'im, and when we look at it, I mean, even other texts also too, Zohar, Kodesh, whatever, that Hashem's entire integrity is based on Klal Yisrael. We don't understand how hush of a yid is, because when you really look at it, Hashem is saying inside of all of the Nevi'im, the prophets, everything, his whole entire existence is based on it being a Klal Yisrael. What I mean by that is, I would say like this, don't take it literally, but listen to what I'm saying.
Sorry.
When you look at all the promises that Hashem made, is based on there being a Jewish people. It's based on there being an Eretz Israel. It's based on there being a Yerushalayim, right? And if you're bold enough to say that it's not, okay, well, maybe that's just, we believe that, but whatever. If you look at the Islamic hadiths, if you look at the Christian Bible, everybody needs there to be Jews at the end in order for their God to exist, right?
But
so it's a very interesting thing.
If you're talking to an average American kid today, okay, and it's hard to be a Jew, it's hard. You deal with a lot of racism and you deal with a lot of hardship. You go off to a college campus, so many people are bashing Israel and our land. What would you say to us? I mean, you've gone through so much. What would you say to keep us strong when we go into territory that is not friendly or frightening, or how do you feel pride? How do you keep that pride going? What would you say?
Well, I think the biggest thing is being able to not put yourself in a situation where you feel alone, definitely having chaverim, having friends, having people that you can call and be connected to, especially when you have to go into the,
be part of a community, you're saying, like not
absolutely.
But you must have felt alone at so many points of your life on your journey to Judaism, right?
Well, yeah, for sure. But Judaism teaches both. You have to know how to be alone, and you have to know how to have a community. On one level, you need that support system.
What do you mean by that? How you have to know how to be alone? What can you expound on that a little?
So what I mean by being alone is you take Avraham Avinu, right? Abraham. Okay, I'm sorry if I'm saying too many words that I should have said. I don't know.
You're a rabbi, Nissim.
I'm sorry. That's how I talk. So you take Abraham, right?
Very Jewish rabbi.
Rabbi Nachman talks about Abraham, and he says that when it says that Abraham was one, he was one, meaning that he was called the Hebrew, he was on one side and the rest of the world was on another side completely. Meaning that there's such a faith and there's such a munah that a person could have, right? That they're so sure and so confident of their connection with the Creator that nothing phases them. You have to be able to know how to stand on one side when the rest of the world is on the other side. So I give you my
identity. Nissim, you're talking about a confidence and identity. That's part of your journey.
Absolutely. And look, for me, I got it worse than everybody, right? Because they want to know, why is he dressed like a European? These guys want to know also too.
You're all over.
How black is he? You know, everybody's got questions. Everywhere I go, everybody's got 1,000 questions about what this and that and everything else. You know, so if anybody gets it, I get it. Okay. So, but what it is that I've spent for myself, and I continue to spend so much time reinforcing my faith. Faith is like in yourself. I'm talking about not just faith just in terms like, oh, I believe in God. I'm talking about faith in a confidence in yourself and your ability to go into places and to be very, very proud of your Judaism no matter what. What that means is that, like, for example, for me, spending so much time and personal prayer and self-introspection and building out myself, it's just like working out, right? When a person decides to go into a gym and to work out, the muscle that you build is going to help you in other situations outside of working out. You're going to have strength, you know, to hold things, to help another person out, to carry things that other people may not have, whatever it is. So the same thing is in your faith, is that the more and more you strengthen yourself and your connection with the Creator, then the more and more you're going to have that confidence and that strength and faith when you come out and you face things that are trying to maybe separate or take you out from that.
That's amazing. You came to that on your own, you know.
Right, right,
You did it all on your own.
right, for sure.
You didn't have a teacher. You didn't have a bubby, you know.
Right.
Right? You came to it all on your own. And that's an amazing sense of security that God watches over you more than the average person has, I think.
But the truth is, listen, we all have it. We all have it on our own, right? So sometimes, okay, you're born with the bubby and you got the Rebbe and all the other stuff. So you have those crutches, imaginary crutches or whatever, but you will be faced with times when you're alone. And you're going to have to depend on the inner faith and things inside that were, if you didn't take time to build them, that means you weren't in the gym. You wasn't working it out, you know? So,
challenge does it, right?
Exactly.
Challenged, you figure out who you are in life. And that's
exactly
the strength.
Exactly.
Do you
said
have a
it better
rap
than
about that?
No.
What?
Huh?
That's
I do.
your
I have many challenges about it. No, actually, you know what? I was recently, unfortunately, I had to spend some time in the hospital. I had corona, just recently overcoming that. And, since I came home, I've recorded, more than 12 songs now. And a lot of them I realize are a lot about struggle, overcoming challenges and really trying to, I haven't put them out yet at a time. I will, but I think it's important to write about those type of things.
So can we hear a rap from you, or do we?
Let's hear a few questions. I'm sure people have questions. I mean, we've heard so much, and then we'd love to hear a rap. But Nissim, your childhood and your experiences and your journey in music, and even the fact that you're recovering from corona now. Did you say that? Yeah,
I just recently recovered from, well, I'm still probably in recovery. There's some things that are not very normal yet, but I got most of my taste buds back, not all of them, but yeah, I was in the hospital. It's very scary. You talk about overcoming challenges. There was a couple days there that I didn't know if I was going to make it home, It's very, very scary. And you know what helped me the most? I mean, great doctors and everybody, medicine, shkoyach. But I think the thing that was most helpful, my brother-in-law, he called me and gave me a lot of strength on the phone, and it helped me change my way of thinking. And I started thinking in a different way, got more upbeat, turned off my phone because everybody was calling, giving me bad news, right? That's another thing that could bring you down.
Positive, right?
Right, and being positive, really, I felt my body start to feel better. It's a very interesting thing. Yeah. So.
You mean the negative kind of brought you down?
For sure. Absolutely.
Wow. So you changed the whole way of thinking from this that you had even before in life, and this was a whole lesson for you. We are so grateful that you are better.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank God.
Thank God that you're here with us and better, and God should continue to heal you and give you all the healing that you need. And I have a few questions for you coming from this amazing group of amazing people from all over the world. Hi, everyone. I have a few questions here, so let me read some out to you. Can you talk about your childhood a bit more and what it was like being around the violence?
Yeah, it was very, unfortunately, it became very normal. So you became kind of numb to some of these things. However, I didn't become so numb that I didn't really feel or know that something was wrong with it, right? So you would constantly, like, even I remember being, battle rammed by the FBI when they came in and took everything, like all the guns and the drugs, everything was in my house. My house was really like a trafficking spot. Everybody came through my house. So like I was exposed to this as a kid. It was nothing was hidden from me. So I remember going to school. I was so startled because I got dressed by FBI agent. I was 8 years old at this time. I went to school. Everybody I left was in handcuffs, and the police were all over my house. I didn't know who was going to be home when I got back home. You know what I mean? They sent me to school like that, and there was really no time to heal. So it took a long time to get over a lot of the traumatic experiences that I seen, fights in the living room, from dice games, playing shooting craps turns into guns being pulled, in front of you. None of these things were hidden from me. So
Wow.
Wow.
Really unbelievable. Let me ask you another question. How would you say that the rap world perceives you, and how are you able to juggle that and your career with Judaism?
I think the biggest thing has been sort of like, having a new relationship with it and understanding rap and music even in general as a tool. Even we look inside of Torah, we look inside of Tanakh and all the other beautiful Gemara, whatever Mishnah, we start to see that music becomes this tool. It was a tool for the prophets to gain prophecy. It was a tool for King Saul to be able to overcome his melancholy. It was a tool. So I start to have a relationship with music as a tool, but not being my life. Like, this is my life. Like, to be honest, most of my day, if I'm not involved or making records, I don't even listen to music. You understand? Being honest. Some people are like, I need music to thrive. Like, I can go really for a long time, but when I do connect, it's a real connection. But I use it really more so right now as a tool, and because I feel like I haven't made it, like, I've removed it from being like, oh, this is who I am, this is all I am, and it's my whole entire life is this, whatever. I feel like being able to have that separation, I love it in its proper place. So when it comes to being able to be involved in the rap world and different things like that, I know how to use this as a tool and to be able to pull myself away from it. And in terms of the perception from other people, I've been getting a lot of love lately from, other rappers and different things like that that are more so in the game. People even I grew up with that start to make it on the big end. And it's really interesting to see, like, it's a positive spin on current and modern music for them. That's just sort of like, wow, I didn't even know how much I needed that, so it's a very beautiful experience.
Wow. One young lady would like to know this question: what gave you the strength to choose Judaism? And I think the question can be brought into everybody on this Zoom. What gives you strength to choose what you believe in, what's right for you? What gives somebody today strength to choose something that speaks to me? I know I'm Jewish. I know my parents are Jewish. I know I feel connected to Judaism. I think I'm proud of who I am, but it's so hard to choose that and make the choices in the world we live in today. So how did you make that choice? What gave you the strength, especially considering that you were already part of the Islamic community? I mean, it's major, right? So what gave you that strength?
So I think the biggest thing was that the choices are easier once your heart is in it, right? Even when a person chooses like a career path, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit easier to work when you love what you do, right? So what worked for me was, as I mentioned some of my story, I let that relationship build first without even knowing where it was going, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. It was in like, you know, Judaism, as I just mentioned this recent article, it's just a system apart from God. It's just like, okay, it's just Judaism. But when there's God involved and there's a relationship there, it's much easier to do things once you're in love with who's you're doing as opposed with what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that that's the biggest part, is like building out that connection with God without trying to think about, well, how many strings are attached. I see people go from a leap of feeling like, okay, well, yeah, I'm not really trying to be so much involved with Judaism all the way to like, wow, I really want to keep Shabbos, but I work and if I don't work or whatever, and that's a beautiful struggle to really be in, to really wake up and be like, wow, I want to keep Shabbos, but if I don't, and then that, so many times people talk themselves out of growing because they think about, oh, well, if I do this and that, and if I do that, I have to give up this, and then I have to give up that. That's not what Hashem says. He says, just come, just build a relationship with me. And the rest of the things, because those things won't be so, if there ever a time when you do need to separate yourself from something, you won't feel the pain because you already have that relationship there. So I think that that was the biggest thing for me, was first building the relationship with Hashem, with God, and then the rest of the things. Like I tell people all the time, to start keeping Shabbos, to start eating kosher, none of those things were hard for me. I was so in love with Hashem. I was like waiting for the next mitzvah. What else can I do? You know? So I feel like that's a very important piece, and to keep pushing that before you get involved into the what, you need to get involved with the who. And that's what Hashem is. So I think that that's the most important and the easiest way.
Wow. I think we need to hear some raps from the guy who has such a relationship with God. We have to hear what it's all about. What do you think, Rebbitzin,
I
Slovie?
think we're ready. We are so ready, Nissim. You are
Okay.
an amazing, amazing, incredible human being. We are so inspired
so
by you. I
much.
know you speak for everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hold on one second. Get myself in position. So the first song I want to do, actually a song that was released this past Hanukkah, which is called Eight Flames. So if you guys get an opportunity, you guys can go and look it up. If you know the words, you can sing along also. I'm also not, just mute yourself so you don't throw me off. Yeah, whenever we down, he can lift us up. Ain't it difficult? Too difficult for us. If only we would trust and keep our heads up. The sky we can touch, yeah. But I feel like I'm already gone. I feel like I lost my way home. I feel like I lost my way home. I'm feeling so out of my zone, yeah. And when it's dark out, I can't see, yeah. So can you wave a light for me? It's called From Egypt to Babylon, the Holocaust. Inquisition will pivot us to the pogroms. Yeah, from the Greeks and now in Rome. Yeah, yeah, but we fight back to light that fire. They got a problem because this neshama won't expire. We moving on. We show the whole entire world this miracle. And so we make it flame for this miracle. Yeah, yeah. So we make it 8 days, 8 nights, and you can call it 8 days, 8 nights. We light flame for this miracle. We like flame for the miracle. So we make it 8 days, 8 nights, and you can call it 8 flames, 8 days. We like flame for the miracle. We like flame for the miracle. I'm standing there, but I can't hold myself. I know I need the help of someone else. I am my brother's keeper, and I can use my hand to be my brother's keeper. We gon' fly away, yeah, not in a million years, just 6 million tears. Be ignored still, these are arms of steel. King David shield, Operation Moses, Ethiopian Trojan. He gave the mighty to the weak, and the many to the few. In a minute, it was through. Even in the life that we started through. And now I give my light to you, cause we fight back to light that fire. They ain't a problem, cause this neshama won't expire. We moving on, we show the whole entire world this miracle. And so we make it plain for this miracle. Yeah, yeah. So we make it 8 days, 8 nights, and you can call it 8 flames, 8 nights. We light flame for this miracle. We like flame for miracle. So we make it 8 days, 8 nights, and we can call it 8 flames, 8 nights. We like flame for miracle. We like flame for miracle. Thank you. So I will speak a little bit on that song. So that song itself came at a time or like right before Hanukkah last year. It's very interesting because usually I try to, if I know I'm going to make something, I try to make it ahead of time. And it was like a last minute thing, and I feel very connected to Hanukkah for several reasons. One, because I was born in Kislev, which is the month of Hanukkah, which is the month of miracles, which is the darkest time. I've always been very connected to the winter. I love winter time. I love December, which was, Gregorian day. But it's very interesting that Hanukkah is all about, that little bit of light expelling all the darkness. And I felt like, it being the darkest and the blackest month of the year, I happen to be black. And it's very interesting that my name is Nissim, which is also connected to Hanukkah, connected to the miracles. And above everything, it's the month of donuts. And I like donuts. So, Baruch Hashem. So I feel very connected to Hanukkah. So, but really, that was a joke. But
We're with you, Nissim.
but this song really, I wanted to be able to express just that very thing. Like when you write, you're writing really not just for yourself or how you feel, but you have to sort of take other people's emotions and feelings with you as you're going into the studio and be able to convey those emotions. So I wanted to arouse somewhat of a Jewish pride really on that song. So that's
You did
why
it.
I came out the way it did.
You did
So.
it. Awesome. You have an incredible soul. You know
Thank
that.
you so much.
It's a flame.
Thank you so much. Thank
So,
you.
Do you have any tips for any?
There was a question that just came in.
Yeah.
It says, did Nissim find his wife before? And yes, me and my wife converted together. Me and my wife have been together since I was 17 years old. So,
wow.
So we've been together almost 16 years now. So,
That's amazing.
yes. And we have 6 children. Sasha has
6 children. Whoa.
6 children. Yes.
Do they rap?
They run around here, and they're very bilingual, and they make fun of our Hebrew, but it's okay.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
If we have any aspiring rappers on the Zoom here, what would you tell them?
I would tell them just, really keep going, hone in on your craft, and, try as much as you possibly can to, I would say like this for myself, that with music and especially in particular with rap, you're able to say a whole lot more words than what a person would sing, and you really would stretch out. Since I do both, I know very well. With a rap, I can be much more descriptive of the content that I want to get a part. So you're getting more words out into your listener. So with that 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, depending on how long the song is, to some degree, you have that control to be able to put in as much light as you possibly can, or, the other side. So it's a big responsibility, so that when you're saying and you're doing whatever you're doing, that you really take in count that you just really, a person just gave themselves over to you for 2 or 4 minutes. So it's very important, the message or whatever that you're saying, to come out and be from the heart.
Wow. You've given us the power of your word, that one word could make such a difference in this world, you can choose your words, and they don't have to be many.
Right.
Make an impact with it. Do you
Absolutely.
want to give us one more rap from your heart?
I'll give you one more song.
Thank you, Nissim.
Thank you, Nissim.
No problem. You guys know this one also so you can sing along? Yeah. 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 Everybody sing along. Let go. Even in the years. Down. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's my hope that I know you, my desire that I show you, gratitude that I owe you. Cause I was in that creeper snow guard, and you came and dust off and revealed my spark. I was searching for the essence of existence, wanted to find you, but I didn't see an entrance. I came from a distance where everything was different, and I called out to you. You showed me that you listened. From then we became best friends, and I gave my all to you, and you showed me who I am. And so I am staying by your side to bask in your light and your mercy. I reside. Hey, I won't let go, go. Years, 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 up, down, years, 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 go, go, years, years, years. Look, look, what is it I can give you? What is it I can lift you? When everything is yours, every time I walk straight, there's another door to help me achieve everything I need and more. Look, more, nothing less than going to and fro. Gonna hear your voice from heaven, see your direction. I climb, but I fall flat like bread with no leaven. Yeah, yeah, pick me up, don't put me down. Hustle me, ah, ah, let go. Years, years you're there when I'm up, and you're there when I'm down. Saying, yeah, 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 let go. Years, years.
Thank you.
Nissim, I know it took a lot out of you. It's past midnight and you are recovering from Corona, and that's amazing. One more question can I ask? Somebody asked over here, I see.
Absolutely.
What can you tell American kids here to do to help Israel the most? How could we help? You know,
Besides getting on a plane and just moving here, besides
yeah.
that, I would say continue to just like really be a beacon of light wherever you are, because the biggest thing about it is that, you know, I mean, I just hate to really say this, but the truth is that we're just scapegoats for the world, you know? So everybody's always looking for some reason. You just have to really be conscious and to know that, you know, first off, the hate of Israel that's a disguise. It's a decoy for people's hatreds towards the Jews. You understand? So regardless of no matter what, you have to realize that when you bear of Hashem's name and you go out or whatever, just be mindful of how you interact with the rest of the world, and how you treat other people and those things, and really try to make the sanctification of God's name, the Kiddush Hashem, by being a really good person as much as you possibly can, because you have to realize all of your actions are being watched 10 times more than everybody else, which should be even more a sign to you of how important you are. You understand? Because of that. So I think that it comes to you evaluating yourself and how you treat the world.
Thank you, Nissim. That's
Thank you.
really awesome. You got a whole new world of fans over here, and we
Thank you so much.
we're awed by you and your strength and your vision and your music, and you've taken a gift and you've made the world better from it. And we wish you success and blessing along with your wife and your beautiful children. We'd love to meet them sometime in Jerusalem.
Bezat Hashem, soon enough.
Very soon. I hope to be walking in Jerusalem and seeing you and saying, Nissim, remember us? We did a Zoom together.
Without mask, Bezat Hashem.
Without mask, yes. God bless you, Nissim, and thank you. And I hope we hear from you soon again.
Soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, Nissim. And everyone, I'm sure. So everyone, we're almost done, but we're not done. And Nissim was amazing. I think that we're all awed by his strength and his sense of purpose, his taking a gift that he has and being able to use it to make this world better, standing up to his childhood dysfunction, discrimination. I mean, it's amazing. It's really amazing. And he's an incredible role model for us. I know that we have some gift cards for those who have really given of themselves here. But before we do, I just want to give a little message to us all, because when I look at all the faces here on the screen, I feel so empowered myself to know that we are part of this incredible community. And this is just the first of many to come, where we're going to meet awesome role models, Jewish role models for all of us. And we need you to be involved. So that brings me to just this thought. Many of you joined me when we had a day of blessing by the Rebbitzins' home, by my mother's home. She was very ill at the time, and she had a message for all the kids and families that were there. And that message resonated and stayed with me. So here it is. My mother, the Rebbitzin, said, imagine that you are a fan of this incredible team, and you have your favorite players. So you go to the stadium and the music is going and you're pumped and you're in the colors of the team and you're wearing the cap and you're wearing the shirt. You're in the stadium, you're waiting for the star players to come out. The music starts, you're cheering, and then the announcer comes on. He keeps announcing the names, but there's no team. And you're looking around like, what is happening here? And then the announcer says, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to say, but the star players aren't interested anymore. They decided to retire. And the game's over. There's no more team. We are a nation of incredible fans, but we need incredible players right now because our team is missing players. It's up to you listening right now. You are the players. You're the ones that we are counting on. Everyone listening right now is 1,000 points of light. If you take the message of today of just being proud of who you are, if you take the message today of just like what Nissim said, just one Shabbos, and invite friends over. Invite friends to a Zoom like this. Invite friends to stand up for Israel. And don't be silent. You know that you've made a difference in this world because we need you. We need ambassadors of light. And that's what you all are. So I thank you. Before we announce certain names who have really given their all, I thank you for being a part of this. If anybody wants to be involved, please, we need you. Be in touch with me. Be in touch with Shani. Be in touch with Hineni. We're an incredible people and we come together as a family together. I want to thank all of you listening who are making Zoom parties. I want to thank the challah ladies who were involved. I want to thank the college girls that we study every week. I know that you are very on. I want to thank our listeners from London, England, from South Africa. Today, Shady checked out technology at 1 PM and there was already somebody on waiting from South Africa to be on. She said, don't worry, I'm going to be coming back. Emma Kate from London, thank you for being a part of this. And Shady, do we have some special ambassadors that we want to mention?
We do. We have some real players over here. There are, there are some people that I want to announce who really heard about this and they said, we are going to make this our mission to spread the word and get people connected and create a community, because like Nissim said, community is so important, even as your own core and sense of self and identity is important to develop. And we hope you got that message today. So I just want to announce and please send me your addresses or send me an email at gotjewishpride@gmail.com. So I could send you these gift cards. I'll get in touch with you and be in touch with me. We are starting, like Rebbitzin Slovie said, we are starting a movement here. We need to create a movement of players who are proud and who are strong and who are very Jewish and very committed to making a difference in this world. So drop us a line, send us an email, tell us your ideas, ask how you can get involved. We're going to do this and we're going to make it big. And I'd like to thank Maggie Steinhaus, Ben Rappaport, and Remy Tauber for creating this movement and sending so many people our way to join in on this Zoom. And thank you, boy and girls, and you will be getting gift certificates to Amazon for your amazing work as an ambassador. And I think we have two special other people to announce that we will talk about that. Rebbitzin Slovie.
Okay, the mantra really of the Jewish people is the Shema. Wherever you go in life, if you can do one thing, take out of this, it is to say the Shema. There are 2 bat mitzvah girls that study together with me every single week, no matter what. And to close this program, I'm going to ask these two girls to come on, and I'm going to ask them to say the Shema. I'm going to ask Sammy August, and I'm going to ask Lily Mark to close our program with the words of the Shema, because Jews throughout the world for thousands and thousands of years, no matter what we've gone through, we've always said the Shema to show that we believe in God. And that's what we want to take out of this, that no matter what, we have our faith, and there's nobody and nothing in the world that can strip us of our faith, because we are the Jewish people and we are one. So do we have these two bat mitzvah girls who are so committed?
We are going to unmute Sammy. We're looking for her. Okay.
And Lily.
We got Lily.
We gotta.
Just wait.
I hear Lily.
Sammy, can you unmute yourself?
You want to ask your friend?
You move it so I can see.
Okay.
Nice.
You ready? And where's Lily?
Hi.
Okay. You ready?
Everyone
So
can join it.
we'll hear the Shema from you together, girls. You ready? Shema.
Wait, Sammy's not unmuted.
Sammy needs to be unmuted. Are you unmuted, Sammy?
Yeah, I'm unmuted now.
Okay, here we go, girls. Do it for your people. Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai HaShem. Amen.
Thank you so, so much. That is our mantra of the Jewish people. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Hashem is ours. And we thank everybody for listening. Please get involved, be part of our community. Am Yisrael Chai, the Jewish people live. We are an incredible nation. Go out and make a difference in this world. That's what we're here for. Be a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you.